Welcome, namaste. Here is your verbal, vocalized yoga collective vinyasa sequence so that you can hear it and absorb it in yet another way. So we'll begin by sitting in Sukhasana or easy pose. As an option, you can prop your sitting bones up on a blanket or a block if you have tight hips or your low back is sensitive. Soften your shoulders down your back. Take a few moments to adjust and readjust. Press your sitting bones down into the floor, into the mat, into the support system you're using, and use that anchor to lengthen your spine upward. Relax your face. Soften your eyes and simply observe your breathing. Slowly begin to inhale deeper, pulling the breath in from your lower abdomen, through the rib cage, up toward your chest. Pause momentarily, and out of your mouth, exhale. Let the breath go. 2 more just like that. Deep, slow breath inhaling, belly fills, diaphragm expands like you're filling a balloon. Shoulder blades widen, open the chest, hold the breath for a moment, and exhaling through your mouth, releasing any stale air. Get as empty as you possibly can. And one more for good measure, nice slow inhalation, expansive, nourishing, spacious, energizing breath in, hold it, pausing gently, and exhale, letting everything go. Take a few moments to return back to your natural breathing and allow your hands to meet at the center of your heart. If you have an intention for your practice, here is your opportunity to plant a seed to direct your practice, your breath, the movement of your body toward a specific sankalpa or an intention. We'll begin today's practice by chanting the universal sound of Om. Take a nice slow inhale breath. Deep inhale and exhale. Release your arms, open the windows of your eyes, and take your time to transition onto your hands and knees, setting yourself up in tabletop, removing any padding or props that you may have been using during your sitting meditation. In tabletop position, spread your fingers wide. Align your wrists vertically underneath your shoulders and your knees vertically underneath your hip bones. As you inhale, drop your belly down, pull your chest forward, open across your collarbones. Exhale, press the mat away, round your spine for the cat pose. 2 more just like that. Inhaling as you pull the chest forward, tailbone tilts up, belly drops down. Exhaling through your nose as you push the mat away, curl the tailbone under, and feel the shoulder blades spread. Great, 1 more just like that. Inhaling, Ujjayi breath through the nose, exhaling, round your spine like a cat. Inhale to a neutral spine. Walk your hands forward just a little bit. Curl your toes under. Exhale, press up and back to downward facing dog. Optionally, keep your knees bent for the first downward facing dog and create more length in your spine this way. As you press down into your palms, firm your arms and drop your head. Let your head hang. Breathe here, inhaling and exhaling. Fingers are spread, the entire palms are rooted down in downward facing dog. And as your hands press down, and it feels as if you could drive the hips up and off the shoulders. And as your hips reach way up, toward the back of the room, toward the place where the wall and the ceiling meet. Feel the backs of your legs begin to open up as your heels reach down toward the mat, whether or not they touch. Take a look at your feet, make sure they're parallel. Heels turn out slightly, thighs engaged. Breathing is even. Begin to soften your knees and slowly walk your hands to the back of your yoga mat. Once you're there, maintain parallel feet. Feel free to soften your knees if your low back is tight or your hamstrings are tight. And bend your arms, holding on to opposite elbows for ragdoll. You may even decide to sway a little bit forward and back here, so actually rocking from your toes back to your heels in order to establish what feels like the center, as if your whole body was hovering right above the arches, the center of your foot. So your hips are aligned over your knees, which are aligned over your ankles, and your upper body is literally just cascading like a waterfall over your legs. Lower belly draws in slightly to create more space for you to just fold, melt. Shake your head yes, no, maybe a little flutter of the lips. Good. Then release your arms. Let the arms dangle down for a moment. Good. From here, slide your hands halfway up your shins, straighten your arms, and pull your chest forward. So stay here for a few moments. So this is a halfway lift. Breathe here. Lengthen the back of your neck. Soften your knees and continue to lean your weight forward toward your toes. Make sure you're not jamming the knees and the hips back. Instead, reaching forward, draw your belly in. Good. Exhale, fold forward, melting just like you were before. Good. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift. Low belly draws in. A little bit of an arch in your upper spine here. Exhale, forward fold over strong legs. And one more time, breath initiates, inhaling as you extend the chest away from your belly button. Nice long flat back. And exhale, forward fold. Good. Soften your knees and begin to, do not soften your knees. Soften your knees, yes, soften your knees. And begin to roll up to standing, vertebra by vertebra by vertebra, until you find yourself rising up to the mountain pose at the back of your yoga mat. And from here, slowly begin to walk consciously, maybe a little walking meditation from the back of your mat to the front of your mat. Once you arrive at the front of your mat, Tadasana, mountain pose. Big toes may touch with the heels slightly apart, or you can have your feet parallel to each other and hip bone distance apart. Take a moment in Tadasana to really feel your feet rooted into the mat. Spread your toes. Feel as if you could spread the soles of your feet wider and feel more connected to the ground. And let that energy of groundedness surge up your legs, firm legs. The tailbone lengthens straight down to your heels as your lower belly draws in. Spine lifting up off of the pelvis. Chest is open, arms alongside you. Slow breath inhaling from the soles of your feet all the way up to the tippy top crown of your head. Exhaling. Good. Inhale, extended mountain. Float your arms up and overhead. Exhale, soften your knees as you hinge at your hips and fold forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands next to your feet. You may have to bend your knees in order to do that, and step one leg back at a time for plank position. Feel free to modify your first plank with your knees on the mat. Otherwise, keep your legs engaged. Make sure that your shoulders are directly over your wrists. Soften your elbows. Nice deep breath, inhale. Exhale, lower your knees to the mat. Bend your arms, lower your chest and your chin. Ashtangasana, elbows pin toward the ribs. Point your toes. As you inhale, drop your hips and slide forward into a cobra pose. So the elbows are still close. You press the tops of your feet into the mat. Legs are engaged. Good. Exhale, release your forehead down. Tuck your toes. Press up and back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths. In Ujjayi, in downward facing dog, you want to make sure that that breath is even. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. The outer arms hug in toward your ears. Feel that lift of your tailbone way up so you don't feel like there's any pressure in your shoulders or your wrists. Thighs draw back. Good. Begin to look forward. At the bottom of your next exhale, bend your knees. Step your right foot forward, followed by your left foot. When you arrive at the front of your mat, inhale yourself into a halfway lift and exhale into a forward fold. Push into your feet as you inhale, reach up to standing, extended mountain. As you float the arms overhead, descend the shoulder blades down your back. Exhale your hands to your heart center, Samastitihi. Good. Again, inhale, arms float up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips and fold forward all the way. Inhale, halfway lift, prepare your spine. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to plank position. Your knees can be up or down this time. Lower halfway, chaturanga. Good. Inhale, roll over your toes, push into your palms, either cobra or full up dog. In up dog, stay for several breaths. Good. Wherever you are, stay for a few breaths. Engage your legs. Try not to let your heels sickle out to the side so the outer ankles hug toward the midline. Palms are flat. Avoid shrugging the shoulders up, so push your hands down and lift out of your shoulders here. If you're in up dog, your thighs are up, your hips are up. If that's uncomfortable on your low back, please stick with cobra and modify. Great. Wherever you are, take another breath. Inhale, your ribs draw through the upper arm bones. Exhale, pull your belly in, roll over your toes, and fold your hips back into downward facing dog, knowing that you can modify the practice at any time, do less, skip vinyasas, and most importantly, listen to your body. Nice deep inhale here. As you exhale, bend your knees, lift your gaze. You can either walk, step, or float your feet in between your hands, nice and light. Great. Then as you inhale, halfway lift, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, push down to stand up, reach up, grow taller. Exhale your hands to your heart center. Release your arms alongside you. Inhale, bend your knees for chair pose. Shift your hips back and down as your arms float up. Externally rotate your arms. Take a few moments here to situate yourself in this chair. Lean your body weight toward your heels. Lengthen your lower back. Draw your belly in. Keep your neck in line with your spine. Shoulder blades widen and draw down the back. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Extend your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms. Step or jump into chaturanga. Slowly lower down. Inhale, roll through to your back bend, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, roll over your toes and press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up with a square hip. Exhale, pull your knee to your nose and step through to a low lunge. Drop your back knee. Feel free to pad up if your back knee is sensitive. As you inhale, hook your thumbs in front of you, reach up and arch back. Stay here for 3 breaths. Make sure the weight is in your front heel and you're not scrunching your toes. Draw your low belly in. Modified posture for this is to open your arms wide without the hook of the thumbs, softening the shoulders. Take one more deep inhale here. Lift your rib cage off of your waist, off of your pelvis. Exhale, release your hands down to either side of your front foot. Pause. Make sure your front knee is at 90 degrees. Lean onto your left palm as you exhale. Peel your right arm up and twist to the right. You can stay with your back knee on the mat or tuck your back toes and lift your knee. Lengthen your spine away from your back leg. As you exhale, see if you can feel the twist every time you breathe out. You're inhaling and lengthening the spine forward, pushing into your standing hand. Exhaling as you twist, the top arm is energized. Great. Inhale, put your right hand down on the mat. As you step back to plank position, look forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, back bend of choice, strong legs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up from the inner thigh. Hips remain neutral. Exhale, pull your knee into your nose, shift forward and step your foot into a lunge. The foot's a little bit to the left, so your feet are, you've space for your hips. Good. Drop your back knee, uncurl the toes if you desire, pat up if needed. Hook the opposite thumb on top as you inhale your torso up. Exhale, soften the shoulders. Feel here as if there were an imaginary thread lifting your sternum, the center of your heart, up to the sky. Draw your belly button in. Good. So make sure you don't feel anything in your lower back. That's it. One more breath. Inhale, you lift out of your low back. Exhale, hands to either side of your front foot. Make sure front knee is at 90 degrees and not bypassing the ankle. Lean onto your flat right palm. Reach your left arm into the air. If you feel like you're dumping in your bottom shoulder, push more vigorously into your standing hand. Make sure the entire surface of your standing palm is on the mat. Whatever is on the mat is your root. Make sure that front knee stays directly above the second toe and doesn't start flaring out to the left. That's it, yes. So you're hugging in to the midline as you breathe, open, and twist. Place your left hand back down on the floor. If your back knee was down, curl the toes, lift your back knee, step back, either straight to down dog, or of course you can optionally move through an intentional, strong, fluid vinyasa. We all will end up in downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Strong arms, flat palms. Spread the shoulder blades in your downward facing dog. Reach your hips way up off your shoulders. The bottom of your next exhalation, bend your knees, lift your gaze, walk or jump lightly to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees for chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, press up to standing, hands to your heart center. Release your arms alongside you. Inhale, bend your knees for chair pose, just one breath here. Exhale, forward fold, extend your legs, drop your head. Inhale, lengthen your spine, flat back, draw your shoulder blades back. Plant your palms. Exhale, step or jump into chaturanga. Lower slowly. Good. Inhale, roll through to your back bend, strong legs, shoulders back, chest forward. Exhale, roll over the toes, press back, downward facing dog. Without lifting your leg, look forward and step your right foot forward, pause. Good. Move your foot a couple of inches to the right. Turn your back foot on its side on a very strong 60-degree angle. You may be on your fingertips here. Square off your hips, push into both feet as you inhale, lift up into warrior one. Stay. Make sure your shoulders are squared forward. Fingertips are reaching up as the shoulder blades draw down your back. Make sure the outer edge of your back foot is pressing into the mat and your front leg is at 90 degrees. Stay in this shape as you exhale. Release your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers or use a strap if you have tight shoulders. Keep the front leg bending straight forward as you inhale. Lean your fist down your back leg as you open your chest. Exhale, push into your back foot as you dive forward, devotional warrior or humble warrior. Pull your right hip back, square hips, drop your head. Your right shoulder may dip inside of your front knee or maybe it's on top of your front leg, but try to square your chest down toward the floor. Both legs are working, low belly is lifting, neck is relaxed. Push into your feet, inhale, rise up, undo the interlace, stretch your arms up into the air, warrior one. Exhale your hands to the mat, step back, and decide if you'd like to take a slow vinyasa or straight back to down dog. That's always an option. And in addition to that, you can always place your knees on the mat and take a child's pose. From downward facing dog, use your core and step your left foot forward, preparing for warrior one. Widen the stance enough so your left foot's a little bit to the left. Pivot your back heel down on a strong angle. Grip your left hip into the center line as you press down, rise up, torso, arms lift. Virabhadrasana 1, warrior 1. Breathe. Every time you exhale, feel your waist draw back. Lift the back of your ribs up, feeling a sense of symmetry in the front and back side of your torso, so you're not dumping into your lower back here. Feel that sense of lift and groundedness this posture provides. Great. From here again, interlace your fingers at the base of your spine. Inhale, take a mini back bend here. Open your chest, lean back. Exhale, fold forward, devotional warrior. Pull your left hip back. Push into the outer edge of your back foot. The back leg is your anchor. Lots of strength. Back thigh pushing toward the hamstring. Internal rotation of back leg. Roll the right chest down. Lower your head toward the mat. Whether or not it touches, maybe never in this lifetime, I'm right there with you. Push into your feet as you inhale. Rise up to standing. Undo the interlace of your hands and reach your arms back up into the sky. Exhale your hands to the mat. Step back. Choose. Slowly lowering elbows in toward the ribs if so. As you pull forward to your back bend, make sure your entire palms, both palms are flat as you open your chest. And exhale, pull your navel and roll over your toes. Press back. Adho Mukha Svanasana, the downward facing dog. A nice time for a cleansing breath in through your nose. Fill up, out of your mouth. Cooling breath, release. Great. Breath in. Exhale, bend your knees, lift your gaze, walk or jump to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, bend your knees, chair pose. Shift the weight into your heels, strong arms. Exhale, press up to stand. Hands to your heart, arms alongside you. Surya Namaskar B, one time, breath to movement. Inhale, bend your knees for chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands and then step or float, Chaturanga, lifting your belly as you lower. Inhale, roll through to your back bend, Bhujangasana or Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. That's a tongue twister. Exhale, roll over your toes and press back, down dog without lifting the leg. The right foot steps forward. Inhale as you walk up on the right side to warrior one. You've been here before. Reach up. Great. Exhale, release your hands to the mat as you step back to plank and lower, ideally all in the same exhalation. Inhale, find your back bend, strong legs, stretch the legs behind you. Exhale, roll over your toes, downward facing dog. Step your left foot through, spin your back heel to the mat and stand up, inhaling to the top. Warrior one, chest faces forward. Exhale, put your hands on the mat, step back, firm legs, gaze forward, lower with control. Inhaling, widen your chest, open the front line. Exhale, downward facing dog. Slow down your breath. Soften your knees and begin to walk your hands to the back of your yoga mat for Padangusthasana. Make sure your feet are parallel and about hip bone distance apart. That's approximately the width of 2 fists in between your feet. Soften your knees as much as you need to be able to reach down and grab your big toes with your peace sign fingers. Make sure your palms are facing each other. Take a breath in as you lengthen your spine any amount. Exhale, fan your elbows to the sides. Widen your shoulder blades and lift your shoulder blades up toward your waist instead of crunching them toward your shoulders, or toward your ears rather. Good, and then let your head hang. Shake your head yes, nod your head no. Lean your weight forward a little bit, unlock your knees. Inhale, look up, straighten the arms, gaze ahead. Release your hands from your toes. Lift your feet, slide your palms underneath the soles of your feet for a wrist stretch known as Padahastasana. Take a breath here, inhale, firm legs. Exhale, forward fold. Try to imagine that you could massage the wrists or the heels of your hands with your toes, your big toe mound, right? So go for that wrist stretch, feeling free to bend the knees. The inner thighs are rolling back here to widen your sacrum. Good, inhale, look forward any amount. And exhale, release your hands from underneath your feet. Soften your knees and begin to crawl forward into a plank position. Nice strong plank. So the heels are pressing back. Avoid dropping your head in plank. Hands directly under shoulders, fingers spread wide. Especially that inner mound, right? Where we want to bubble the hand off the mat. The mound of your index finger and thumb is firmly rooted. Elbows unlocked. Join your feet behind you. In your plank, begin to lean onto your right palm. Swivel your heels to the right, Vashisthasana, the side plank. Your right arm is vertically stacked, wrist under shoulder. If that's a lot, you can bring the wrist slightly forward, the hand slightly forward of the shoulder. Unlock the elbow. If this is a lot, drop your bottom knee. Find your breath. Energize your top arm. Pull your waist back. Lengthen your tailbone toward your heel. Strong legs. Lengthen. Exhale, left hand down. Spin onto the toes. Plank position. Pause. Reset. You can do this entire side plank sequence with your knees down. Lean onto your flat left hand. Begin to spin your heels to the left. You're either stacking your feet, flexing them like you would in mountain pose, or you can stagger, or again, place your bottom knee down. Try not to back bend here, so pull your ribs in. If your feet are stacked, you may separate your heels a couple of inches to widen your lower back, just like you would in Tadasana. Good, right hand down. Plank pose, you decide, chaturanga or straight back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths in your downward facing dog. Look forward, step your right foot forward, right to the middle of your hands, front of your mat. It's a little bit different. We're stepping to the middle front. Good. Be on your fingertips if you need here, so you can have a little bit more space. Yep, in your upper body. Now, turn your back foot on its side again, but this time you can even drop your head, look back, and make sure that your front heel is lined up with the arch of your back foot. Good. Swing the right hip under you as you begin to reach your left arm forward and rainbow yourself up to Warrior Two. Rising to Warrior Two. Again, check in with your legs. Make sure that front knee is not passing the ankle joint. If so, you can widen your stance and dip low enough so that your front thigh moves toward parallel to the mat. Your back foot is doing about a 15-degree internal rotation. So that back foot is turning in slightly. So there's a little internal rotation of your back thigh and hip. And against that, your left chest opens. So your whole entire chest is square to the side. Reach through your arms and set your gaze, your drishti, either over your front fingers. Close your eyes and breathe. Front leg is bending, back leg is straight. The right hip tucks under, low belly draws in and up. Begin to reach forward. Place your right hand down on the inside of your front foot using either your fingertips, the floor, or a block. Extended angle. Push into your back foot. Keep the outer edge of your back foot grounded. This is your stability anchor. With your front arm, see if you can gently press into your front knee, opening that inner thigh as you roll the right hip under, meaning avoid sticking your right hip behind you. Curl it under. Your top arm reaches straight up into the air. Your gaze can be down, sideways, or up toward your top arm without cranking your neck. Every time your body exhales, feel as if your chest is rolling up to the sky without your ribs sticking out. Sacrum in, ribs in. Push into your feet. Inhale, Warrior Two. Rise up to stand. Exhale, slowly extend both legs. Shorten the distance between your feet. Good. So you walk in a little bit. You just break it down right here. Okay, walk in a little bit. There you go. Make sure that your front foot is straight ahead. Arms out to the sides. Now as you inhale, begin to reach forward with your right fingers, with your torso. Get as much length forward first as you can. Unlock your front knee, your right knee. Exhale, tip sideways for triangle pose. Land your bottom hand either on your shin or on a block outside, ideally, of your right foot. You may notice the block has 3 heights, so choose the height that works for you. Push the big toe ball mound of your standing your front foot into the mat. Tuck the right hip under you as you open your left chest, lengthening the crown of your head away from your tailbone. As you breathe out, feel as if your chest could rotate up toward the sky. Strong legs, breathing in and breathing out. Begin to look down at your front foot. Put a little bend into your front knee. Bring your right hand forward as you step up and balance in Ardha Chandrasana, the half moon. Your back leg lifts up. Dorsal flex your back heel. Push the heel away from you and spread your toes. Soften your standing knee. Make sure your right hand is forward underneath the right shoulder. So it's going to be off your mat a little bit to the right side to help with balance. But make sure you're not leaning on that palm, right? You're going to use your core muscles here to lengthen your rib cage away from your back leg. Your top arm is reaching up. The crown of your head is playing tug of war with your back heel. Feel yourself like a star expanding in all directions. And then slowly begin to bend your standing knee. Shift the weight toward the heel of your standing foot. Slowly step way back, gracefully into Warrior two. Breathe into your warrior two. Look at your front palm. Turn the palm up. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Shanti Virabhadrasana. Exhale, windmill your hands to the mat. Step back and choose how you decide to move through your vinyasa. We meet in downward facing dog. On the left side, I'll walk you through it with less verbal cues. Step your left foot forward, turn your back foot on its side, windmill up to warrior two. Exhale, stay here. Shoulder blades down the back, energize your arms. Breathe. Begin to reach forward. Place your left hand down inside your front foot for extended side angle, Parsvottanasana. Reach your top arm up. Push into your feet. Inhale, rise to warrior two. Exhale, extend your legs and shorten the distance between your feet. Inhale, begin to reach forward. Cut the right hip back. Tilt your pelvis. Exhale, fold sideways, triangle pose. Good. Breathe. Begin to look down at your front foot. Soften your knee. Hop up and balance. Bring your right hand forward a little bit to help you balance. Push through your upper heel. Half moon pose. Begin to bend your standing knee. That is the transitional cue. And slowly step back into warrior two. They've got to bend their knee first in order to land in warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Flip the front palm up first to initiate that. And exhale, circle your hands to the mat and find your way into downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, bend your knees and lower your knees to the mat. From hands and knees position, lower your elbows and forearms to the mat. You want to keep your elbows shoulder distance apart, definitely not wider, otherwise you can kind of collapse in your upper back. So if you want to measure the distance between your elbows, you can just like kind of fold your hands and clasp your elbows with your palms. And then re-extend the forearms forward, spread your fingers and make the number 11, parallel elbows. And from there, push into the elbows and feel your upper back kind of spread, right? So you're not dipping your spine down toward your chest. You're pushing and spreading the shoulder blades. Then curl the toes under behind you, send your legs long, and come into a forearm plank. Of course, just like with regular plank, if this is a lot in your shoulders or it's challenging to keep your even breathing, then as a modification, put your knees on the mat. Tuck the hips under slightly. Feel as if the frontal hip bones, your pubic bone, is aiming toward your heart, toward your throat. So your low belly is drawing in, the sides of your waist lift evenly, the chest is open, and the back of your neck is long. Firm your thighs here. Breathe, relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Those two verbal cues are probably just like, those are the most important. Relax your jaw, relax your tongue. Push into the elbows. Yes, be there with them. Walk your feet up toward your elbows. Lift your hips up. It's like a down dog upside down on your elbows. Down dog on your elbows. Let your head hang. Dolphin pose. Push into the elbows. Lift your hips up. Pull your navel in. Walk your feet back a little bit. Lower your knees to the mat. Point your toes. Shift back. Child's pose. Hips to heels. Arms can be forward or back. Soften your shoulders, slow down your breath. Slowly begin to roll up to sit. Shift your hips to one side, swing your legs in front of you, preparing for boat pose, Navasana. Now, I do not recommend that you tell people what's coming next all the time, but every now and then you can. But I do advise against, okay, let's do warrior one now, and then tell them. Don't even try not to do that. So we're coming into boat pose, so make sure that you're sitting toward the middle of your mat. You can bend your knees here and grab right behind your thighs, right behind your hamstrings, knees, under the knees, and pull your chest forward. So you want to feel like you're really balancing on your sit bones here as opposed to rounding your back. And you can always take them through a little bit of that spinal articulation. Inhale, rock forward to the sits bones, open your heart. Exhale, rock back toward the tailbone, round your spine. Inhale, rock forward, stay, lean back a little, open your chest. Exhale, lift your legs up, bring the knees together, spread your toes. You can keep your hands on the backs of your knees, or you can reach the arms forward. Navasana, shoulders into the sockets, chest open. On the sits bones, press your sacrum in, breathe. Good. As you inhale, Lay back halfway, extend your legs. Option to modify with your hands behind you on the mat. Exhale, fold it in, bend your knees, chest to thighs. 2 more. Inhale, lay it out. Get long, long legs, you're hovering. Exhale, pull yourself back up. Keep your spine long, chin off the chest. Inhale, lay down and hover. Ardha Navasana, the half boat. Exhale, bend your knees into your chest, lift up and stay for 1 more breath in. And exhale, release your feet to the mat. Hug yourself. So just give your shins a hug, round your spine. And slowly roll up to sit. And exhale, make your way back to downward facing dog. So you can give them the option here of simply swinging their legs behind them, stepping back, or if people are interested or people you can tell by their level or their practice so far, they have a jump back, right? If you have a jump back, right, I would not necessarily instruct something. There's certain things you can instruct that you do not technically have the ability to do physically, but something like a jump back, I would say, you can offer it if you feel confident. If you feel confident, you can say, okay, you guys, if you have a jump back in your practice, it's nice if you have one in your practice too, though, for jump backs specifically. Okay, so we're moving on to balancing now. Inhale, reach your right leg up into the air. Exhale, step forward. Move your foot a couple of inches to the right. Yep, so your feet are hip distance apart. Pull your right hip in. Good. Push into your front heel. Reach up to standing in high lunge, crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. If this is a lot on your low back or your back psoas, your quad, bend your back knee a little bit. Feel your tailbone like a heavy anchor dropping down. So your low belly is going to lift, your waist draws back. Gaze straight ahead. Place your hands at your heart center. As you inhale, begin to hinge from the right hip joint and lean forward without crashing on your front thigh. You're just leaning forward on a diagonal. Pull the right hip in. As you exhale, push off into Warrior 3. Keep your chest even to the mat. Push through your back heel. Make sure your standing leg is not locked. Open your chest, lengthen the back of your neck. Draw your belly in. Your hips are squared. Good. Slowly bend your front knee and step back into a lunge. Keep your hands at your heart. You can optionally drop your back knee. Inhale, lean forward again as if you were coming right back into that first posture. And now begin to twist. Hook your left elbow outside of your right knee. Press your palms together and feel as if you can lift your chest toward your thumbs. Shoulders back as if you're leaning against a wall. Can you get your torso to line up with your back leg? Lengthen the back of your neck. Breathe in. Spine lengthens. Breathe out, twisting from above your navel. So your low back, your core are very stable. Good. Inhale, release your hands to the floor. Notice how that was an inhale as you release your hands to the floor. Then, as you exhale, straighten both legs and shorten the distance between your feet, preparing for pyramid pose. Good. Inhale, look forward. Option to use blocks. Many people need blocks here. Unlock your front knee, square off your hips. Exhale, fold forward. You're kind of aiming as if you wanted to kiss your right big toe. The right hip draws back. There's a scissoring action of your inner thighs. Definitely pelvic floor engagement. Mula Bandha, light lift of Mula Bandha helps here. You're laying your spine. So this is ideally an extended spine posture, not a rounded spine posture. Shoulders soften away from the ears. Good. Inhale, look forward as you soften your front knee in order to exhale, step forward and fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees for chair pose. Shift the weight back toward your heels. As you exhale, pull your hands to your heart center, lean forward and begin to twist to the right. Hook your left elbow outside of your right knee. Now, it may take people more than 1 or 2 breaths to get there, but that's okay. You're directing the breath. The hips reach straight back. Great verbal cue in this posture. Look down at your knees. Pull your left knee back if it's somehow sliding forward. This is going to help even out your sacrum. Breathe in. As you exhale, you twist. Keep your collarbones wide. Shift the weight back to your heels again. As you inhale, rise back to center, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Extend your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step or jump back, chaturanga, or straight to down dog. We meet in downward facing dog. I'll do the same thing on the left side with less verbal cues. Inhale, reach your left leg up. Exhale, step forward to a lunge. Inhale, stand up, high lunge. Breathe, of course, because we're breathing and finding these postures for several breaths. Great. Place your hands at your heart center. That's ideally on an exhale. Inhale, begin to lean forward with your torso halfway. Exhale, push off, warrior three. Stay and breathe. Begin to bend your front knee as you slowly step back to crescent lunge. You can keep your hands at your heart center. Begin to lean forward again as you exhale, twist to the left. Hook your right elbow outside of your left knee. Press your knee into your arm and your arm into your knee. Use your breath. Breath is very important in twisting postures. Emphasize the breath in twisting postures, always. Inhale your hands down to the mat. Exhale, extend both legs and hop the back foot in a little bit so both feet are flat. Back foot is turning in, just like a warrior one here. Hips are even. Inhale, look forward, or moving towards square. Exhale, fold over your front leg. So there's a micro twist of your torso toward your left inner thigh. A mini twist there. Pour your body weight. Pour your torso over your front leg. Firm your legs, inner thighs. Breathe. Good. Inhale. Soften your front knee. Bring your hands down. Exhale. Step your back foot forward and fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees, chair pose, Utkatasana. Exhale, pull your hands to your heart center, lean forward and twist to the left, Parvrita Utkatasana. Breathe. Swing your hips in to the center. That one always helps me. Swing your hips from right to left. Oh yeah, because everyone sticks their hip out to the side in chair twist. Inhale, back to chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step or float, chaturanga. Inhaling, open your heart. We meet in downward facing dog. Moving on to hips. Inhale, reach your right leg up to the sky. As you exhale, bend your knee and slowly open your hip. Take a few breaths. You want to make sure that their standing leg here is engaged and that back leg, the heel is not sickling out to the side. You're firming the outer ankle in. Inhale, extend your top leg, square off your hips. Exhale, step your foot to the outside of your right hand, preparing for lizard pose. Drop your back knee, uncurl your toes. If it's uncomfortable on your kneecap, you can use a towel or a knee pad or, no, not a knee pad, a towel or a blanket if you have one. Good. For the first several breaths, feel free to come onto your fingertips here and make that front foot kind of even parallel with the side of your mat. So the right foot is straight ahead. That right inner knee is gripping in toward that right shoulder. Good. And then slowly turn your front foot out just about 20 degrees to the right. Lean onto your left hand and begin to sweep your right arm up and back with your thumb on top. So you're opening your chest and twisting. Avoid dumping into your bottom shoulder. So push into your left hand. Make sure the entire palm is flat. Remember the ground, whatever's on the ground, that's your anchor. Stay here, or if it's available in your body, bend your back knee and reach for the outside, the pinky toe side of your foot. Capture the foot, kick your foot into your hand for a quad stretch and breathe. Release your foot if you have it. Turn your right hand forward again. And we're going to prepare for pigeon pose. Now I'm saying that because it feels like that's what's right, but again, not all the time. So you're going to transfer your right hand to the outside of your right foot as you slowly begin to, I like the word shuffle. I'm shuffling my right foot to the left side of the mat to fold the shin across the mat, or you can even use the verbal cue heel toe. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Walk that right foot to the left. Fold your shin across the front of your mat. You want to roll onto the top of your back thigh. If you feel lopsided, lift that right hip up onto either a block, a blanket, a towel, something that feels supportive. If your front knee is agitated, pull the heel of your front foot closer toward your body. Feel even here, maybe on the fingertips. Inhale. Exhale, begin to lay your spine over your front leg. And it's nice here to make a pillow with your forearms in front of you and rest your forehead there. that's really going to allow the shoulders to relax. So you want to get people to be as relaxed as they can in this posture and not gripping in the shoulders, and especially the jaw. Jaw and hip joint are very connected. Your torso is just melting over your leg. You're using gravity. So slower breaths in this posture. Maybe a longer exhalation. Shoulders, jaw, neck, relax. And from here, slowly begin to walk your hands back up toward your hips. You open your chest. Then you curl the back toes, press into your palms, and step back. Oh, I didn't say that once you roll up, once you roll up, if you have padding, the moment that you get people up from pigeon, if they have padding under their right hip, lift your right hip, slide the padding out, and then flatten your palms, curl the back toes, and step back, either through a vinyasa or straight back to downward facing dog. I'll do it the whole hip sequence on the left side, pretty much just walking you through the verbal cues. Obviously, I'm not going as slow as a traditional class. I did a little bit more in the beginning, but I really want you guys to hear the cues. Inhale, reach your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, begin to bend your knee slowly and open your top hip. Inhale, you extend your top leg, you square off the hip. Exhale, step your foot to the outside of your left hand for lizard. Drop your back knee, open your chest. Okay, good. Then turn your front foot about 20 degrees to the left. Lean onto your right palm. You can open the left knee. So your left knee still stays in line with the second toe. Everything's lined up. Reach your left arm back. Open your chest. Twist. Stay here or bend your back knee. Reach back and grab the top of your foot for a deeper stretch. As long as you do not feel any pinching or straining in the knee. So pinching, straining, and pain are things that you want to make sure people are not feeling. Release your back foot, reach your left hand forward again, and begin to move your front foot, your left foot to the right. So you can shuffle your left foot to the right or heel toe your left foot to the right, fold your left shin across the front of your mat. Preparing for pigeon pose. Square off your hips and fold forward. Stay for several breaths. Inhale, begin to walk your hands back toward your hips, lift your spine up off of your front leg. If you have padding, lean to the side and remove the padding. Good, then exhale, hands down, tuck your back toes and step back. Okay. From downward facing dog, inhale, glide forward to plank pose. Look forward, belly in. Exhale, bend your elbows straight back and slowly, as many breaths as it takes, lower down onto your stomach. Once you're there, point your toes, extend the arms alongside your body. Palms face up. Take your forehead to the mat or your chin to the mat. Zip your legs together. Create a slight gap between your heels. So the big toes touch and the heels are slightly apart. If you have low back sensitivity, you can separate your feet about hip distance, not too wide. Take an inhale breath here. As you exhale, lift your head, lift your chest, your arms, and your legs. Shalabhasana. Imagine you're squeezing a block, or should I say, imagine you're gripping a block between your upper inner thighs. The inner thighs turn up. Yeah, pinky toes down. Spread your toes, open your chest, arms are strong. Chin down a little bit, back of the neck, wrinkle free. Breathe in. Exhale, release. You can make a pillow with your forearms and turn your head to one side. When people make a pillow with their forearms, it keeps them in back bend mode. Right? If the arms are alongside the body, sometimes the shoulders can round forward. Okay. I'm not supposed to be teaching postures here. Okay. Forehead to the mat again. So people can either repeat the locust pose, Shalabhasana, even a variation, maybe with a strap behind them or hands interlaced, especially if they have low back sensitivity. Otherwise, everyone else, legs together, bend your knees, preparing for bow pose. Begin to reach back, grab your feet from the outside. Of course, you can use a strap on the tops of your feet to modify. Grab your feet and hug your knees in toward each other. So avoid letting your knees splay out to the sides. Take a breath, inhale as you roll back toward the hip bones. Exhale, kick your feet into your hands and lift your chest, lift your thighs, lift your legs. So you want to be balancing on the fleshy part of your abdomen, right below your navel. Breathe in. Breathe out. No jutting of the chin, so keep the back of your neck long. Hug the knees toward the midline. Your legs are doing all the work. The arms are straight. One more breath. Inhale, kick. And exhale, release your feet, slowly lower, turn your head to the other side. Again, maybe that little pillow with your elbows, your forearms, and just a little sway. Sometimes it's really nice for people to just sway your hips from side to side if that feels good for your lower back. It's a nice release. Good, and then from here, you can simply turn onto your back, however is most graceful for you, and prepare for the bridge pose. So when you're on your back, you want to make sure that the chin is tucked, so the cervical spine is lengthening, not too tucked, but just so you're not crunching the back of your neck. Begin to bend your knees and place your feet on the mat, parallel and hip distance apart. Arms alongside your body, heels under your knees, heels in line with your sitting bones. Begin to push into your heels, lift your pelvis, your lower and middle back up. As you exhale, interlace your hands below you, roll side to side, and tuck your shoulders under your chest. If this is a lot on your lower back, lift your heels up, do it on your tippy toes. Breathe. The inner thighs roll down, firm as if your knees are straight forward, again, as if you're hugging that block. And also, can you press the back of your head gently down into the mat? Therefore, your chin lifts and your throat opens. You want to really feel expansive. Yes, the chest is opening. The back of the head presses. One more breath in. If your heels are up, you can slowly release them down, release the interlace of your palms and roll down from the top of your spine to the bottom. In fact, you can actually keep your heels up as you articulate your spine down and then lower your heels. And I like to keep people's knees bent and feet flat in between back bends. So keep your knees bent, keep your feet flat. If you need a release, instead of hugging your knees into your chest, just knock your knees into the middle so the inner knees touch. And pause and breathe. And then you're preparing for another back bend. So again, you can separate your knees a little bit, either repeating the bridge pose. This is another option to give people if they have a block. They may want to use a block instead. So you can have them push down, lift their hips into the bridge, then take a block and slide it underneath the sacrum on one of the 3 levels that feel supported and just chill out there. Otherwise, same feet positioning, same legs as bridge pose. So the knees bent, feet flat. Reach your arms up into the air, bend your elbows, and place your hands in line with your ears, fingers pointing toward the shoulders, preparing for wheel pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Elbows in, begin to push into your feet, lifting from your pelvis first, and then pressing into your hands as you lift onto the crown of your head. Once you're on the top of your head, turn the heels out a little bit, so there's a slight pigeon toe to the feet, hug the elbows in, and then begin to press up on an exhale to wheel pose, navel to the sky. The inner thighs are turning down here. So the heels turn out, the toes turn in. Imagine that you could pull your chest through your arms. The inner palms are flat, tailbone lengthening toward the backs of your knees, so nothing in your lower back here. Breathe in. As you exhale, tuck your chin to your chest. So you have to lift your head, tuck your chin to your chest. First, begin to bend your elbows with the chin tuck so that your shoulders land down first, then your middle back, then your lower back. And we are down. And of course, bridge people can release down like we did earlier. Once your hips are on the mat, this time hug your knees into your chest and then take happy baby. So happy baby is really the neutralizing posture that works best. So open your knees to the sides, either grab behind your knees, your hamstrings, or you can reach up and grab your ankles, your shins, or the outer edges of your feet. You're pulling your knees toward the outer ribs, with your elbows ideally on the inside. Can you plug your shoulder blades into the mat? Tuck the chin slightly so the back of your head is supported. If your hips are rolling up off the mat in this posture, then just grab behind your knees and try to lower your sacrum to the floor. Breathe in. The inner heels are lifting. The outer feet draw down toward you. And release. Hug your knees into your chest. So this is an opportunity for you to share an inversion. So this depends on what inversion you choose. So I'll cue a supported shoulder stand with a block. So you can bend your knees, place the soles of your feet on the mat. And just like you were coming into a bridge pose, press down, lift your pelvis, and slide your block on the lowest setting. Of course, this depends on their experience and desire for inversions. If they don't want to invert, they can simply lay on their back in Supta Baddha Konasana, the reclining butterfly pose. That's an option. Or they can take a seated forward fold instead, Paschimottanasana. Otherwise here, your sacrum is sturdy. You want to feel really supported on that block. And then slowly begin to extend one leg at a time up into the air. Knees are soft. Everything is soft. Arms alongside you, palms up, or hands can be somewhere on your body. And just let the energy flow in a different direction. Soften where you can, slow down the breath. So you stay there for about a minute. You can give them some benefits of going upside down. You'll live forever. You'll feel more inspired. We're stimulating the sixth chakra, the intuitive center, the pituitary gland. So many benefits of turning things upside down. Oxygenates the heart, the vital organs. And then from there, you're going to bend your knees slowly and place your feet on the mat. Push into your feet, lift your hips off that block. Maybe it was a cushion, I don't know. Move it out of the way and slowly lower down. Hug your knees into your chest. Press your thighs down against your torso. Good. As you exhale, lower your knees to the left side. So in order to make this twist really good, they actually may want to put their feet down first. Let's do that first. From the hugging of the knees into the chest, put your feet on the mat. Then with your feet, push your feet down, lift your hips and shift your hips to the right 2 inches. So you can be on the outer left hip hinge and then lift your knees and draw your knees to the left. So your hips are directly underneath your shoulders. T your arms. So extend your arms out into a capital T with palms up so that the shoulders can drop down to the floor. And if they want more, you can place your left hand on top of your right knee to encourage a deeper twist. Either gaze up toward the sky or you can gaze over your right arm. You want to make sure that that right shoulder is reaching down toward the floor. Ideally, that right shoulder is all the way down. Otherwise, they may need some blocks underneath their knees, or they may need to lift their knees a little bit higher up. You're going to cue a slower 3-part breath here, so no more ujjayi breath. Inhale into your lower belly. Fill your ribs just like we did in the beginning. Begin to slow down. Through your nose, exhale. Twists are rinsing, they're purifying. Good. Inhale, rise back up to center. Place your feet on the mat. Lift your hips, shift your hips to the left side. Let your knees fall over to the right. Open across your chest. Reach your left arm to the side. Maybe right hand on top of left knee again to encourage that depth. Slow breathing. Good. And then inhale, come back to center. Feet on the mat. Hips to the middle. Hug your knees in toward your chest. One final squeeze, loving embrace. Deep breath, inhale. And exhale, Shavasana. Release your legs out long, arms alongside you. Maybe your arms, your hands are somewhere lovingly on your body. Let the breath go. Begin to surrender all muscular energy. Take any adjustments or readjustments that you need so that you can find a place of stillness and truly digest your practice. Feel your muscles slipping away from your bones getting heavier. Let go.